Oh. Yeah, I have a story for you guys.
Okay, well, let me set it up. Oh no. Oh no. This story is about the time. Did my dad submit this? Because this is about the time my son pulled a fire alarm at the doctor's office. I'm just curious. No, this is yours, huh, SongHeart?
Yeah, this is mine.
He
So,
pulled a Jamal Bowman.
this happened just a couple months ago. We were at the doctor's office, and it's one of those big doctor's offices that also has its own pharmacy. And so I was at the pharmacy. We had already gone to his appointment. I was getting his prescription. He has ADHD, so I was getting his meds, and he was doing so good. And all of a sudden, the fire alarm goes off. At like I had just gotten up to the counter, and the fire alarm goes off. We all walk outside, and then he turns and says to me, because I figured we would wait in the car, because I know that when fire alarms go off, they got to check everything in case it's a real emergency. As we're heading to the car, he says to me, "Mom, I set off the fire alarm." I said, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, I set off the fire alarm. I didn't know. I thought it'd be funny. I didn't know they'd have to empty the whole building, so we had to
Oh
stand
no.
around and wait." But I did tell the like official looking people that were coming out. I was like, "My son did it." They're like, "Did he do this one by the pharmacy?" I said, "Yeah, that's where we were." So it was a
Oh,
lot less time standing outside than it could have been because they didn't have to check every little thing. But it was really embarrassing for me. And then he felt really bad because he didn't know that everybody would have to come out. And seeing everybody having to leave this big doctor's office, he's like, "Oh."
oh man.
So
I I've told a similar story on this show. Do you remember, Charles?
Uh-huh.
Where I accidentally called the police on our
Accidentally.
while I was working at Burger King. Oh, SongHeart, you may not know, just as a brief little tidbit, I
uh-huh.
saw what I thought was a garage door opener underneath the cashier's the till, and no one
Uh-huh.
had told me what it was. In hindsight, I definitely should have known, but I was just like click click clickety click click click, and then I just kept taking orders. You know, I was fidgeting, as it were, as I do every week on the podcast with the dice that I just keep spinning in my hand. Um, and yeah, the cops came. It was fun time. Fun time.
Yeah, clickety clickety click click was Morse code for help, we're being robbed. You hit the silent alarm
Yeah.
button at Burger King. I'm surprised they even came. Like, psh, Burger King, let them get robbed. Who cares?
I'm gonna have to listen to that song that Devo site said. There's a song called "Bad Ideas Make the Best Memories." I'll
It's
have to
true.
give that a listen to.
True.
What do you do now, Joe? What do you do now?
I could tell you about the time that I forgot oranges grew on trees. So I was with my ex. This was like 11 years ago. And we were driving to California from Utah. And we drove through Nevada and then through the top of California. And it was really cool. Liked it a lot. And all of a sudden, we're driving along. And I see these little orange ball things on the trees. And I'm just like, what are the orange things on the trees? Because I'm from Utah and we don't have orange trees in Utah. Um, X was from California, was used to oranges on the trees, thought maybe I was talking about ribbons or something like that. He's like, "Well, she can't be talking about the oranges, so what are you talking about?" We spent an hour going back and forth with me being like, "How can you not see the orange things on the trees?" And him being like, "There are no orange things on the trees." Finally, he says to me, because we were getting really mad at each other. Finally, he says to me, "Do you mean the oranges?" And they're just, I just felt so stupid. Let me tell you, it was like, "Oh, yeah." Because I'd never seen a real orange tree before. Yeah,
oh
his
man.
family has never let me live that down.
I mean, yeah, when you're digging pecans out of the ground, that's hard work. But orange trees, it's right there.
Yeah.
I agree with Random Kid over here. Did you see that? I too forget that pineapples don't
I
grow
did
on
too.
trees.
They grow on bushes, right?
They grow on the ground. Yeah.
Yeah. I
So
learned that from the Sims Castaway Nintendo DS game.
well, there you go.
The things that we learn from our video games is
Yep.
something else. It is that thing.